Okay, I'm starting this video with a warning. If you're my mom, please wait to watch this until after Christmas. And I think I'm gonna try to do some of the like stay stitching and stuff just so it's a little bit nicer for my mom. Okay, I am a top stitcher, so I'm going to top stitch the lining. I wasn't going to and it didn't say to, but I don't know. I feel like it always just gives like a crisp look. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Sewmas, where I'm doing 12 days of holiday DIYs and sewing projects. Today's video is a gift for my mom, so if you're my mom and you happen to be watching this, please wait to watch it until after Christmas. For everyone else, today I'm actually doing, as a gift for my mom, I'm doing a remake of a jacket that I made a few years ago for Sewmas. And a little background. So after I made the jacket, my mom had told me to bring the pattern home when I came home that year, and she ended up saying like, "Oh no, it's fine. You don't have to bring it." And so I figured that for this Christmas, instead of transferring the pattern for her, I would just make her a jacket out of that same pattern. So I hope that y'all like this video, and to my mom, when you are watching this, I hope that you liked it. And if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on my social medias, and let's get into it. Okay, I'm starting this video with a warning. If you're my mom, please wait to watch this until after Christmas. So I'm going to give a few seconds before I get into saying what I'm making. So yeah, if you're her and you've made it this far into the video so far, please stop watching. Okay, so this video is a gift for my mom. As you can probably assume, my mom watches most of my videos, and a few years for Sewmas, I made this jacket that I'll put on screen, and she really liked it, and she had asked me to bring home the pattern so she could copy it. And I think before I went home that year, she was like, actually, it's fine, you don't have to bring it home. So I figured this year for Christmas, I would just make her it. So this is the pattern that I still have. I'm going to make version, I think this is technically, yeah, A. This is version A, because I feel like the shorter just fits her vibe more. And then when Joann's closed, I got this fabric that I thought she would really like, and I thought it would be perfect for this jacket. I will say I have a lot more than this. I bought the whole rest of the bolt, so I have 5 yards, which I think is more than enough. I guess I will check the fabric thing afterwards, but it doesn't really matter because there's nowhere else to get this. But yeah, so that is this project. Since the pattern is already cut out, I'm pretty sure I mean, I cut it out for the first thing, but I try to cut out all of the pieces when I cut out a pattern. So if there were extra pieces, I hope that those are also cut out. But either way, since it's already cut out, I'm probably going to start by just cutting out the fabric pieces and then constructing it. I feel like this should be relatively easy. I did have an issue, I think, the last time I made it, which made it a little bit take a little longer. So we'll see. Also, I do know the last time I made it, the part that comes out, there was supposed to be a facing that you put on it, but because I used the like red Sherpa, I didn't have enough to do that. But also, I was like, I think it's fine. So I will probably want to do that for this, even though I think this fabric might be the same on both sides. Regardless, I still probably would want to do that. So I'm gonna get going. One other note, I don't think there's a pattern pocket for this, but I did add pockets into mine, and I will add pockets into this one, and I'll show that. But usually what I do for a pocket is I roughly like trace my hand and make sure a phone can fit in it, and like a rough circular-esque shape that I connect to both sides before I connect both like the front pieces and the back pieces together. That's my preferred way of doing a pocket. So yeah, I'm gonna start cutting out stuff and then start sewing. 3 more quick things, I think. One, what I did wrong last time, I was just looking through the instructions. You're supposed to cut out 2 sets of the front pieces and you use that to base itself. I didn't, and it worked out because I was using this already like big heavy fabric, but I did not have enough. And so because you do that, you need roughly 5 yards. Technically for the one that I'm making, 4 3/8 of a yard, but I have 5, so I should be good. And it does have a pocket pattern already included and how to sew in the pocket, and I think I'm going to try to do some of the like stay stitching and stuff just so it's a little bit nicer for my mom. So yeah, I'm gonna get going. Okay, I cut out the pieces. I will say, so my fabric, I think it needed to be 60 inches across. Mine was not, it was like just a little less. So I took a little bit off of the front, because I feel like, I mean, it's not a jacket that has a closure, especially with like how the front part comes out. And I think it's still like pretty big, at least mine is. I did not realize how long this was. I shortened mine when I did it because I didn't have enough. And doing it to the length of A, I'm like, oh my god, this is a long jacket. I just didn't realize. But anyways, and I thought I had 4 yards and 1 yard like cut differently, but my 4 yards looked like a lot, but I don't know, 4 yards is a lot. Either way, I was able to cut it out with the 4 yards. I did lose in like about half an inch, centimeter on the end of the sleeve, but I thought it was worth it. So that way, I don't know if I want to do anything else, but there's extra fabric, and I also saved, I mean, I always save my scraps, and I like to save my bigger scraps, especially for other things. But if there's any other accessories or something I think I would want to do, I'll think about that. Like, I think a scarf would be nice, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I am going to start by, the first instruction is to reinforce the like corner piece of the front pieces. And it's funny because I wasn't going to do that, but then I was like, you told yourself you were going to try to follow the instructions like pretty to a T in honor of your mom. But then I also was looking at it, and I was like, oh, I see why they reinforce it, because I guess just like when you're cutting like that, if you snip a little past, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna start doing that, and then it's attaching the front pieces, and then attaching the front piece to the back pockets, so on and so forth. Also for the back, it said to cut 2 pieces out and sew them together. I didn't see a like big need to have 2 back pieces, so I just cut it on a fold. And I know I didn't do that last time, but I'm like, I don't know if there is really a need for that. So yeah, I just cut it on a fold. I also will have to stay stitch the neckline at the back as well. So I'm gonna start sewing and then just go through the instructions. Okay, I sewed the front part that like has for it to billow out together, and then the darts, and I have the pockets sewed on, and I'm about to sew the side seams. Something I will say there with like the neckline from the back attaches to like the front piece that you sew in the dart. I had a little bit of extra fabric, and I think that's because I cut the back on a fold instead of cutting two separate pieces because I didn't account for the seam allowance. So if I were to cut on the fold again, I would have just moved it over a little bit, like depending on the seam allowance. So that's something I didn't think about, but I also didn't. I just didn't want to do a back seam when it didn't feel necessary. So yeah, so I'm gonna sew the side seams together, and then I will connect the facing to it, and after that is the sleeve. Yeah, pretty much that's mostly it. The facing will just be sewing it in some places and then sewing down after it's flipped inside out, sewing down the seam allowance, and then the sleeve is the sleeve. So yeah. Okay, I'm a top stitcher, so I'm going to top stitch the lining. I wasn't going to, and it didn't say to, but I don't know. I feel like it always just gives like a crisp look. So I'm gonna use my stitch in the ditch foot to do that, and I just pressed it so it'd be good. For the sleeve, I'm just gonna roll it up twice and hem it. I did search the end since the fabric frays some, but it's gonna be hidden, so it's whatever. And then there's other bits of the lining that they say to slip stitch down, so I'll probably do that. The side seam, mine are a little off, so I don't know if I'm going to sew them, but I think it is held in place by the armhole and stuff, so I think it should be fine. But yeah, I think those are the last things, and I'll be done. Thanks for watching. I really hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on my social medias. I like how this turned out, and I hope that my mom likes it, as I said. I will say I was a little surprised with how much fabric that it used, even though I did have enough and I made sure to try to buy enough. There were a few things that I should have accounted for, like not cutting the back into two sections and having that extra seam allowance caused a few issues. I think one was with, I forgot, I said what one of them was, but the other one that I don't think I mentioned was the way the where the lining is supposed to line up with the side seam. I think that made it a little bit off, and I just didn't think about that. So if I were to just in general alter a pattern in the future, try to think about some of those things a little bit more. But if you made it this far, comment down below if you like the version that I made for myself with the red Sherpa more, or the one this like checkered one that I made for my mom more. And stay tuned for the rest of Sewmas. Until next time, bye guys.